Hi there.
Hi.
So this is LH Crypto Weekly Analysis, and
today we're going to talk about...
we'd like to divert a little bit from our traditional format in order to step back, to think where we are and where do we go, and to see the events from the distance when they are more clear than when you look at them very close.
I have a different idea. It's so boring that we have no news for you, so we decided to make this overview.
Come on, I just try to paint the things in pink, but you... Okay, so what's on for today?
Okay, today we're going to talk about Bitcoin and if crypto has any future at all.
And what it is behind the US and China trading war.
And a little bit about oil rates.
And how they still shape the global economy. And a brief glance on the long-standing story of Brexit. And a little bit about the best and most significant economic events for the next week.
Okay, let's start.
Let's start.
So we're going to start with crypto. Basically, we can see that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies too are falling up from their knees. And from the December's 3,200, now Bitcoin is 55 or 6,000, it's fluctuating, and it's certainly not going to stop there. Analysts expect higher interest from institutional investors in like banks and even countries, and we have mentioned
already interested.
We have mentioned numerous times that banks and governments are making their own coins, so they're really interested in blockchain. Probably Bitcoin is not going to be the favorite of this new rally because
supposedly.
It's already big enough, so there's less room for growth. And also Ripple is safer than Bitcoin, so banks already choose it for their investment tool. And Ripple's gonna be the leader, probably.
Whatever you say, this event still shapes the global economy and influences in this or that way its twists and turns. So what it is now. So the UK was originally due to leave the European Union on 29th of March. Then due to the total unpreparedness, they were given the first extension.
Extra 2 weeks.
And the date was shifted to the 12th of April. So what happens next now? So the UK has 6 more months to think all things over till the 31st of October. And they definitely have what to think over. Because from one side, there is, all these Labour leaders which are against the idea, and government ministers are talking to them. So for quite no result. On the other side, the Prime Minister May says that in either case, negotiated withdrawal agreement would remain unchanged from what it is now, because this is the binding part of the Brexit deal.
So they have to do it
sooner
or later.
But probably the problem is that members of parliament do not like the agreement as it is now, and so so all this time perhaps will be spent on endless talks on what they like and what they don't like about the agreement, and so they may even offer their own alternatives. But as we remember, for the last time, all the alternatives failed to gain enough voices in parliament. Either way, whatever happens around this topic will either rumors, any obstacles, this would badly influence both the GDP rates and the euro rates, until this will finally end. And she's laughing because she understands the story may be quite more exciting than it is now.
Boast of a smart word I have. Thucydides' trap, a theory by Graham Allison, which says that if there is a strong power and there is a rising power, they're definitely gonna clash in a conflict. And this is what happened more than half a year ago with US and China. And US said, well, China, you're doing something wrong with your copyrights for different developments. And also, we don't like your import tariffs, so we're gonna raise ours. And China replied with tit for tat, like they raised their tariffs and they kept going until they said, well, we have to be adults here and try to negotiate. Yes. And they kept negotiating for months, and they left the whole world in this state of uncertainty. And we keep watching this also soap opera, another soap opera with the world's economy at stake.
Yeah, American style.
Oh shit! And so yeah, they actually negotiated for to take off these tariffs and have some special terms for the U.S. energy and commodities for China and for Chinese goods. And yeah, but no one is sure if they're gonna finally agree to it and if they're gonna follow these guidelines. And if they don't, which they most likely will, what's gonna happen next? Let's see. And yeah, on May the 8th, there's going to be the next round of these negotiations in Beijing.
So they're going to have a promise in a week. Another topic concerned with both countries is oil, since the United States is just one of the largest producers of oil, along with Saudi Arabia and Russia.
China is one of the largest consumers.
True, so quite symbiosis. Yeah. So the oil, just to remind you, rose from 42 USD per WTI barrel in the late December 2018, and now it is around 66 USD per barrel, which is more than 50% growth. Can you imagine? Not to mention that before it, that was more than 50% drop. So it still causes panic on markets. So this topic cannot be just underestimated. So in summary, analysis say that we can expect to see oil going around between 60 and 66 per barrel. And it all, of course, depends on the fundamental factors, among which is all that U.S. struggles and all these U.S. warnings about Iran. Another shaping factors is OPEC, or better to say OPEC plus agreement. Just recently, on Tuesday, the Minister for Energy of Saudi Arabia said that they are not going to raise the extraction at any time higher than it is stated in the OPEC plus agreement.
Good news.
Yeah, and Russia, which is another good news for Russia, is a country which is definitely has to be taken into consideration when playing all these oil stories. So this is just a signal for Mr. Trump, who likes in turn to signal through his Twitter. I hope they won't shift from Twitter to, air carriers and submarines. The situation is on Venezuela is playing its role. It's not just burning, but it's still flaming a little bit. And of course, all these warnings on China economy slowdown, because the latest statistics was not that promising as they expected, and so the Europe was doing still better. Still, in all these uncertainties, oil remains, quite a good idea for a mid-term investment strategy. So pay attention to WTI futures, which are traded in LH crypto trading system. Well, in case you're interested, and I believe you are, a brief overview of most exciting economic news for the next week. So they can be grouped in like a regional factor, and Tuesday, May 7 is a big day for Southern Hemisphere, because the Reserve Bank of Australia is going to make its decision on interest rate, of whether to rise it or whether to make it a little bit smaller, and in either way it will either influence positively on the rate of the currency or negatively. So the same thing comes with New Zealand, which Reserve Bank is going to announce their interest rate decision, and the Reserve Bank will also announce the monetary policy statement. The May 8th is a big day for China, because they're going to uncover the April trade balance and year-to-year exports and imports year-to-year.
And negotiations. With
yeah,
the USA.
yeah. Well, it's I believe they managed just to. It intentionally, to put all these events in one day. So imagine the turnover, the turmoil of the market. And so Friday, May 10th is a big day for Anglo-Saxon countries because the gross domestic product of UK quarter to quarter will be announced, the consumer price index of US, and unemployment rate in Canada. Enjoy your currency trade, since all these currencies are traded in LH crypto trading system. So what shall we say?
Enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Friday. You deserved it, and so come back to work days with full charge. So may the profit
Be with you, yeah.
Yeah, and with us, may the full charge be with you too.